Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohammad Yunus appointed head of interim government in Bangladesh. Hectic efforts on to form the government. Indian High Commission in Dhaka continues to function normally. Yahya Sinwar, the mastermind of October 7th attacks, is new political leader of Hamas. Hezbollah continues to fire rockets into Israel. Israeli jets hit back. US Vice President and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris bets on Tim Walz as running mate. Trump hits out, calls Walz a liberal extremist. And India's dream shattered. Vinesh Phogat disqualified from Paris Olympics ahead of the gold medal wrestling bout. Up first, news from Bangladesh. After a major reshuffle in the top level of the army on Tuesday, new authorities have reconstituted the public force of the country on Wednesday. The new regime replaced the Additional Inspector General of Police, Mohammad Haroon Ar-Rashid, as Director General of Rapid Action Battalion with AKM Shahidur Rahman. Mohammad Mainul Hassan has been appointed as the new Commissioner of Dhaka Metropolitan Police. On Tuesday night, a meeting was held at Banga Bhavan among President Mohammad Shahibuddin, three chiefs of the armed forces and coordinators of the anti-discrimination student movement, and decided to make Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mohammad Yunus the head of the interim government. Besides this, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party has announced to hold a rally in front of its Naya Paltan central office on Wednesday. Meanwhile, India's Ministry of External Affairs sources have claimed that the High Commission in Dhaka is functional amid the unrest in neighbouring Bangladesh. The sources further stated that the non-essential staff and their families have returned to India on a voluntary basis through commercial flight, and all diplomats remain in the High Commission. And on to the Israel-Hamas conflict now. Hamas has chosen Yahya Sinwar, its top official in Gaza, as the new leader of its political bureau. The selection of Sinwar follows Ismail Haniyeh's assassination in Tehran on July 31st. He has been long viewed by Israeli officials as a strategist and with a keen understanding of the society. He has been Hamas's leader in Gaza since 2017. Believed as mastermind of October 7th attacks, Sinwar never made a public appearance since, but directed military operations along with other commanders. Israel's chief military spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, has said that Israel would continue to pursue him. DD India's Sarah Coates sent us this report.
Well, Hezbollah has actually just released a statement congratulating Yahya Sinwar on this appointment, but he is being slammed here in Israel by the Foreign Minister, Israel Katz. He posted on X shortly after this was announced. He said the appointment is another reason to bring about his quick elimination and erasing the memory of this organisation from the face of the earth. Now, the 61-year-old is really seen as Israel's most wanted man. He's often referred to as a dead man walking. Now, it's very unclear as to the whereabouts of Yahya Sinwar, whether he's actually underground in these tunnels, this deep labyrinth of tunnels that run right underneath Gaza, or potentially whether he managed to escape and he may potentially be in, say, Egypt or even Qatar. So certainly a lot of controversy around this appointment.
The United States has communicated to Iran and Israel that there is a consensus in the West Asia conflict that it must not escalate. Speaking after a meeting with their Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and their Australian counterparts, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said talks to achieve a ceasefire and hostage deal on the conflict in Gaza had reached their final stage.
We continue to work intensely to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East and to prevent the spread of conflict. Over the past few days, we've been in constant contact with partners in the region and well beyond. In those conversations, we've heard a clear consensus. No one should escalate this conflict. We've been engaged in intense diplomacy with allies and partners, communicating that message directly to Iran. We communicated that message directly to Israel.
Meanwhile, sirens are being heard in Kiryat Shimona city in northern Israel as numerous rockets identified as originating from Lebanon were launched into the area. Israel's army said while most of these projectiles were intercepted, the remaining few fell in open areas. In response, Israeli Air Force struck into Hezbollah facilities in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for drone attacks earlier, although warning that they were not in retaliation for Israel's killing of a top Hezbollah commander, Fouad Shukr, last week. The Beirut International Airport, the only international airport in Lebanon, has been busy handling passengers in recent days amid rising regional tensions. At least 15 countries, including the United States, France, have urged their citizens to leave Lebanon and avoid traveling to the country. Crowds of people are seen waiting at the departure hall for check-in or to leave the country, while there are still some coming back from abroad to get together with their family members in these turbulent times. Now, following weeks of widespread anti-immigration protests in England and Northern Ireland, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer vowed swift action in apprehending those responsible. After convening his second emergency coordination meeting with police chiefs on Tuesday, Starmer said that he is now expecting substantive sentencing of rioters within days. So far, authorities have made over 400 arrests and filed charges against more than 100 people in relation to these riots.
Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online, that you are likely to be dealt with within a week, and that nobody, but nobody, should be involving themselves in this disorder.
On to the US now. The stunning transformation of 2024 presidential race of the United States reached new heights when Vice President Kamala Harris unveiled her running mate Tim Walz after a sequence of events. The joint appearance of Kamala Harris and Walz kicked off a multi-day tour of battleground states aimed at introducing Walz to the national stage. A report.
US Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, made their first public appearance together at a rally in Philadelphia on Tuesday.
Since the day that I announced my candidacy,
Harris devoted much of her speech introducing Walz to the audience.
The day that I announced my candidacy, I set out to find a partner who can help build this brighter future. A leader who will help unite our nation and move us forward. A fighter for the middle class. A patriot who believes, as I do, in the extraordinary promise of America. A promise of freedom, opportunity, and justice, not just for some, but for all. So, Pennsylvania, I'm here today because I found such a leader.
Tim Walz revved up the crowd for the rigorous campaign to come ahead. He hit the ground running as he went after Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance.
I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
The Trump campaign too didn't waste time launching a counterattack, labeling Walz as a far-left liberal. Walz said Walz was on the far left of the Democratic Party and chosen because Harris was a radical herself.
Obviously, the big news of the day is that Tim Walz has been nominated as the VP, or is now the presumptive nominee, I should say, for Kamala Harris. My view on it is it just highlights how radical Kamala Harris is. This is a person who listened to the Hamas wing of her own party and selecting a nominee. This is a guy who's proposed shipping more manufacturing jobs to China, who wants to make the American people more reliant on garbage energy instead of good American energy, and has proposed defunding the police just as Kamala Harris does.
Walz grew up in a small town in Nebraska. He was a teacher, coach, and union member at a high school before entering politics. He successfully ran for governor in 2018 and was re-elected in 2022. Walz is sync with Kamala on key issues like same-sex marriage and abortion rights. Harris and Walz will spend the next 5 days touring critical battleground states, including Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada.
Wow.
Bureau Report, DD India.
Back to Asia. North Korea has criticized German entry into a US-led UN border monitoring force on the Korean peninsula. The North Korean ministry said Germany's entry into the UNC will inevitably aggravate the military and political situation on the Korean peninsula and the rest of the region. It added that Germany would be wholly responsible for consequences, along with accusing Washington of creating an Asian version of NATO. Germany, a close US ally, on Friday became the latest member of the United Nations Command, UNC, a group that helps police the heavily fortified border between South Korea and North Korea and is committed to defend the South in the event of a war. Now, the US-led UN border monitoring force on the border between North and South Korea is also known as the United Nations Command. It was established in 1950. But what's the purpose of this mission? The UNC has been deployed to keep a watchful eye on the border between North and South Korea. The UN's goal is to maintain peace and security, deter conflict, and support diplomatic efforts. North Korea vehemently opposes it. So, what exactly does the force do? They monitor border crossings, investigating incidents and reporting any violations. The force is made up of military personnel, police officers, civilian observers and representatives from participating 18 countries, Germany being the latest to join this list. Pyongyang views the US-led force as a hostile force, a threat to their sovereignty and national security. Floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains wreaked chaos across Nepal. A landslide killed 7 in Banglung region, while 4 were rescued alive. Banglung, a hill district in Gandaki province, is the hardest hit by monsoon turmoil. 8 people, including 6 children, perished in landslides at wards 9 and 10 of Badigard rural municipality on Tuesday morning. Floods and landslides have also disrupted various highways and road sections. The vehicular movement was obstructed in the Kotang section of Sagarmat highway as the flood damaged road in Ward 11 of Halisi Tuachang municipality. You're with us on DD India Live, still to come on this show. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses despair at Vinesh Phogat's disqualification from the gold medal bout in Paris Olympics, wishes her well to come back stronger. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal calls for faster negotiations of BIMSTEC free trade agreement. And India celebrates National Handloom Day, a day dedicated to honouring the handloom weavers of the country.
This week on Defense Dynamics, we will decode the most powerful and advanced artillery gun systems, and we'll tell you why India's artillery is world's one of the very best. Designed to strike fear into the hearts of the enemy, India's artillery guns are unparalleled in accuracy and devastating firepower. These Indian systems have redefined the battlefield. This is India's artillery gun system, where strength meets strategy and victory is forged in steel. Watch all exclusive behind-the-scene footage of this amazing piece of artillery technology on DD India this Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. On to New Delhi now. India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, has suggested that BIMSTEC nations might benefit more from initiating preferential trade agreements rather than committing immediately to comprehensive free trade agreements. Speaking at the three-day BIMSTEC Business Summit, Goyal stressed the need to reassess the ongoing FTA negotiations that have already spanned 22 rounds. Goyal highlighted concerns about potential delays stemming from non-tariff barriers and urged business leaders to provide feedback on the practicality and advantages of pursuing an FTA with BIMSTEC nations. He proposed that a more pragmatic approach could involve starting with a PTA as a preliminary measure to facilitate trade relations.
I think the relations that all 7 countries share with each other make us a right candidate to strengthen our supply chains, intersect each other. We could look at payment in local currencies within this region, within the currencies of each other within the region, and see if we can balance out the trade between different countries. And we can possibly net off within the 7 countries of the region and expand our trade with each other, even within the existing possibilities, so that that can become the base or a strength going forward to culminate into a free trade agreement.
And next we take a look at what else is making news in India. Search operations are underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur district after suspicious movement was reported in the area. There was an exchange of fire between the terrorists and security forces last evening. The operations aim to neutralize a group of terrorists in Khanid area. A bridge connecting South India's Karnataka and Western Indian state of Goa collapsed in Karnataka's Uttar Kannada district on Wednesday, leading to a traffic jam on National Highway 66. One truck driver has been injured, while rescuers are looking for other vehicles that may have fallen into the Kali River. Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath unveiled the statue of Saint Ram Chandra Das in Ayodhya. Ram Chandra Das played an important role in the completion of the Ram temple. UP Chief Minister also offered prayers at the Digambar Akhada. Later, he addressed a tribute meeting, which was attended by prominent saints and spiritual heads. Heavy rainfall in Guwahati city of Assam in India's northeast has caused waterlogging in many areas. Vehicles were stranded in water, impacting movement and disrupting traffic. This caused a significant delay for passengers. Traffic diversions have been implemented by authorities, urging people to cooperate. And now all the news related to the Paris Olympics. So in a big blow to India's medal hopes, star wrestler Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified on Wednesday from the Paris Olympics after she was found overweight ahead of a women's 50 kg final match. Vinesh became the first Indian woman wrestler to reach the gold medal bout in the event on Tuesday. A statement issued by the Indian Olympic contingent said that Phogat had tipped the scales above the 50 kg mark and was disqualified. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed displeasure to the latest developments and posted on social media saying, and I quote him here, "Vinesh, you are a champion among champions. You are India's pride and an inspiration for each and every Indian. Today's setback hurts. I wish words could express the sense of despair that I am experiencing. At the same time, I know that you epitomize resilience. It has always been your nature to take challenges head on, come back stronger. We're all rooting for you." Unquote. Meanwhile, Prime Minister spoke to the President of Indian Olympic Association, PT Usha, and sought first-hand information on the issue. He also inquired about the options India has in the wake of Vinesh's setback. He asked her to explore the full range of options to help Vinesh's case. He urged PT Usha to file a strong protest regarding her disqualification if that helps Vinesh. Further, Indian Sports Minister Mansukh Mandviya informed the Parliament that the Indian Olympic Association has lodged a strong protest with the United World Wrestling, and IOA President PT Usha is in Paris. The Prime Minister spoke to her and asked her to take necessary action. The government provided every facility to her, including personal staff.
भारतीय ओलंपिक संघ ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कुश्ती संघ से कड़ा विरोध भी दर्ज किया है। नेशनल भारतीय ओलंपिक संघ की अध्यक्षा PT उषा भी अभी पेरिस में है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं उसके साथ बातचीत करके उचित कार्यवाही करने के लिए, उचित एक्शन लेने के लिए भी उसको कहा गया है। भारत सरकार ने विनेश फोगाट की उनकी आवश्यकता के अनुसार हर संभव सहायता प्रदान की है। उनके लिए पर्सनल स्टाफ भी नियुक्त किए गए हैं जो अपने क्षेत्र के विशेषज्ञ हैं। उनके साथ हंगरी के विख्यात कोच ओलेर अकोस और फिजियो अश्विनी पाटिल हमेशा रहते हैं। इनको ओलंपिक के लिए इनके अतिरिक्त व्यक्तिगत सहायक स्टाफ जैसे विभिन्न स्पारिंग पार्टनर्स, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ कंडीशनिंग विशेषज्ञ के लिए वित्तीय सहायता प्रदान की गई।
Meanwhile, Indian wrestler Mirabai Chanu will compete in the 49 kg weightlifting event at the Paris Olympics. Chanu, the lone Indian weightlifter at the Paris Games, will aim to improve the colour of her medal from the last Olympic Summer Games. After a historic podium finish in Tokyo Olympics, Mirabai won the gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in 2022 and a silver at the 2022 IWF World Championships. Chanu has only lifted in 3 competitions since due to injuries. She was placed 6th at the Asian Championships in 2023 and 4th at the Asian Games in 2023, where she suffered a hip injury that sidelined her for 5 months. On 7th of August, India celebrates National Handloom Day, a day dedicated to honouring the handloom weavers of the country and their contributions to the rich tapestry of Indian culture and economy. This day not only celebrates the vibrant heritage of Indian textiles, but also aims to promote and support the weavers and artisans who have kept these traditional crafts alive for generations. Kriti Vadhera reports.
National Handloom Day is celebrated every year on August 7th, marking the launch of the Swadeshi movement in 1905. The day serves as a reminder of the importance of indigenous craftsmanship and the need to support the artisans who create these unique hand-woven products. This day aims to bridge the gap by promoting the handloom sector and encouraging consumers to choose hand-woven products. The day also honored the handloom workers of the country to provide motivation and sense of pride to the handloom industry by appreciating their contribution to the cultural, traditional and economic landscape of the country.
Handloom weaving is not just a profession for us, it's a way of life. Each piece we create is a part of our heritage and we take pride in keeping these traditions alive.
Handloom sector is key to women empowerment. Over 70% of handloom weavers and allied workers are women. From traditional saris to modern home decor items, the handloom industry offers a wide range of products that reflect India's artistic heritage. Young entrepreneurs are increasingly advocating for the country's local artisans through their innovative startups.
The Indian handloom textile is a testament to the cultural diversity and our rich heritage. By incorporating this craftsmanship into our modern fashion, we are uplifting the lives of thousands of artisans and also promoting our rich heritage to the global level. We wanted to create a platform where we can be vocal about our local products and also uplift the life of Indian artisans. We are very proud of our Indian heritage because they are the important piece of our history and culture. We not only want to promote the Indian heritage in Indian subcontinents, but want to take it globally.
The theme of National Handloom Day 2024 is Weaving Sustainable Futures. This theme underscores the importance of sustainable fashion and eco-friendly choices. It encourages individuals to adopt handloom products, which are often made from natural fibers and dyes, and to support the artisans who create these beautiful and unique items. By choosing handloom, we contribute to environmental conservation and the preservation of traditional crafts. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
And sharing a video on social media platform X, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his greetings on National Handloom Day. He lauded artisans and craftsmen of the country, saying, "We cherish the efforts of our artisans and reiterate our commitment to be vocal for local."
हम बुनकरों और हस्तशिल्पियों के बच्चों की आकांक्षा को उड़ान देना चाहते हैं। 600 से इनकी आय भी बढ़ी है। आप सभी को नेशनल हैंडलूम डे की बहुत-बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media platforms. And for those on the go, you can download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates. So we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from our entire team here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.